Hey, can you hear me? Look, check it out. Ignite Her has launched. It is 2025. I'm just picking up clothes from one of my friends who had some extra clothes to help out the Ignite Her program. If you have any gently worn business attire, clothes for women who are out here doing the work but maybe do not have the clothing that they need to get the job done, we need your old clothes. Hit me up in my inbox or through House of Peach. The program is called Ignite Her, where we provide clothing to women who may be transitioning from one job to the next and maybe don't have the means to buy clothes. It could be going from working at McDonald's to now working in an office. So we're looking for gently worn business clothes. Make sure y'all hit us up, all right? Please hit us up. We need those clothes. And check right below there. If you're not in the state of Delaware, you can mail them to us. Or if you're in Delaware, we'll pick them up. Y'all have a great evening.
Hey y'all, hello, welcome. Guess what? It is Monday, and you know what Mondays mean. It means that it's time for the Boss Ladies Lounge. Now, I'm April. Y'all already know me. A lot of y'all do already. So we are excited about what's going to take place on today. We are happy that you're here, but let's do some house rules. I have some serious house rules. What are my house rules? Like, tag, and share. Those are my rules. They're very simple. And I need y'all to help me out. Like, tag, and share so we can get more people on so they can be a part of this phenomenal show that we have every single Monday here on a number of platforms, from YouTube to Facebook to Instagram, everything. So we're happy you're on. Hey, Jackie, I see you over there in Instagram world. See, I have upgraded. Not only am I live on Facebook, but I'm live on Instagram too. So I feel like I'm doing something. I'm excited. Hey, Tasha, I see you over there on Facebook. Hey, Mo, my
Hey,
amazing
hey.
co-host is here. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm fantastic. If I'd be any better, any greater, I'd be like floating, I'm good.
Oh, I love the stuff
However,
you're
I must say that I'm a little sad because Ariel left for her fifth grade trip. And so they are on their way to Orlando for the week,
doing.
for the
Wow.
whole week. And then she comes back, and then she comes back Friday, and then Saturday morning goes with her dad for the summer. So I am here, like literally Micah has gone out of town. So I'm in this house by myself. So I got every light on in the house, every light, because stuff starts making noise. And
If
yeah.
you don't enjoy all of that space and freedom,
I
blast the
will. I will.
music, dance in the middle of the floor, you know what I mean? Shoot. I'd be like, yes, please and thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to make good use of this summer. I am going to miss my baby. However,
Yeah.
it was time. You can tell when it's time that you need a break from not only your kids, but from work or something else. You can tell when it's time. Like, I'm about to get everybody that I come in contact with, about to get it. So I knew it was time. Like, yeah, it's time. So how was your last week? Because we were on last Monday, and then you had the rest of the week and the weekend. How was everything?
It's been pretty good. A little busy. Um, very I don't know. It's been a lot, but all good, you know.
Good. Busy,
Um,
productive. That's always a good thing.
yeah, and there's, I don't know. I guess I'm in a season of just a lot of new things and a lot of opportunities.
Hmm.
At the same time, just, rolling in. So,
Yeah.
um, just trying to be, hey, hey.
Hey, Kimberly, how are you?
I'm doing a lot better. A lot better.
Good. You sound a lot better than you did when I talked to you earlier. I
Yes.
was wondering if I was going to see you or not. I'm like, we'll just wait and see. I was going to give you grace and allow you to, do what you need to do. I'm still waiting on Maybach, and one day he will show up. One day. I messaged him and I'm like, yo, are you feeling better? Because he was sick last week. I'm like, are you feeling better? Because we need a male presence on here. Like, what's going on? So we'll see if he jumps on. So hopefully, fingers crossed. So we know that today is our podcast, and we have now. I didn't come up with this title, but when Morgan put the title in our thread, I was like, "Yo, that's cool." So I am excited about where this conversation is going to go. So listen, hey, Mama Lane, how you doing? I see you. If you want to participate or have comments or anything in this discussion, y'all know how we do. It is not just our show. We want everyone to be able to have something to say, give your comments, ask questions, all of that stuff. So if you want, I have all these devices going so I can see stuff, the things that I can't see on YouTube, producers can see, Peach can see, so she can put it in there. So we want everybody to join in with the conversation. Don't just sit there and spectate. We want some participators. They say that in church all the time. Don't be a spectator. We want you to participate. So that's how we are here on the Boss Lady Lounge. Listen, I love doing this show. I'm gonna put this little plug in here and then we're gonna get started. I love doing this show for several reasons. One of the reasons I love doing this show is because I have my girls that are on here. Morgan and I have been holding it down for 2 years. Now Kimberly has come on. We're trying to get Maybach on here. I would like to have, and this is shout out to Jackie because Jackie gave me this suggestion and I thought it was pretty cool. She said, why don't you just, have a panel? That way you could have some folks as devil advocate on some things. It's great how it is just to expand it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do that. Let's do some expansion here. So we're trying to expand. So if you are interested, now you can't say you're interested and come on one Monday and then we don't see you for 2 weeks. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly. We need committed people that will be able to come on Mondays because we need all of that. Now, trust that Morgan and I can handle it. You hear what I'm saying? We can handle it because we've been doing it. But it would be so nice to have some fresh faces on, some fresh perspectives, some things that y'all could teach me and say to me that I hadn't heard or I had not considered. Yeah, because I'm not always right. Morgan's not always right. As much as we would like to be right, we are not. And we accept that. We accept the fact that we are not. So hearing it from all different perspectives, I know there are a lot of men, and I've heard this. A lot of men think that, oh, this is a women's show and it's for the women. Well, have you been paying attention to our shows lately? Because we're very inclusive of men. Very inclusive. So I don't know what y'all been thinking, but I'm gonna need you to get that out of your head. All right. So here we are for this evening. And Mo, I'm gonna let you have it because this is your topic. You know the direction you want it to go in, and I'm gonna jump in like double dutch. I'm gonna jump in when it's my turn. And Kimberly, let me go in and let you know. We're not doing a round robin or calling people's name. Okay, April, what do you think? Okay, Kimberly, what do you think? Nah, we don't do that. We just jump in. We just get in where we fit in, right? So
I got
that's what we do. We sitting on the sofa. So if we were sitting on the sofa in your house, you wouldn't call on people, would you? No, we just be jumping in, right? That's
All
how
right.
we do it. That's how we do it. All right, Mo, I'm giving it to you. Bishop Pearson, I see you, sir. Don't put my business in the street. Don't put my business out there. I see you in the comments. Don't do that in all caps. All right, Mo, go ahead. I'm quiet.
Oh, hold on one second. I have to
Oh,
help
okay. So
Noah
then I'm
do
gonna keep
something so
talking.
we
So
don't
do you
have a
want me to
problem. Hold on,
begin
hold on.
the
Yeah, hold.
whole conversation? Okay, all right. Well, let's begin. So the topic for this evening is the leap, how big moves spark bigger growth. Now, what I got from this and what I see is a lot of people are very timid. They're very shy. They don't want to take that chance. And oh my God, as I'm saying this, my mind is going like 1,000 directions. This is why I have to take something to calm me down at night and listen to guided meditation because my mind is going 1,000 a minute. So, in order for us to expand and grow and get greater than what we have, we have to take some bigger steps. We have to make some bigger moves in order to gain more. Entrepreneurship is a prime example. When we want more or growth in our business, then we have to take some risk. No risk, no reward. I've heard that somewhere. I don't know where I heard it, but I did hear that. So if we don't take a bigger step or branch out, how can we expect our businesses to explode? How can we expect our businesses to expand from our little community or our city? Like, I think of things on a global expansion. Like, I don't want to just have something here. Like, I have my consulting business. I don't want, although I started the business in South Dakota, I don't want it to, and I'm here in Florida. I don't want it to be just for Florida. I want it to be for Florida, for California. I want to go to Ghana. I want to go to Venezuela. I want to be all over the world with this consulting business. And I'm putting it out there. I felt that, y'all. I felt that real good. Okay. So I want to be able to go and start programs every single place that I can because it's necessary. So, in order for me to do that, I got to get out of my comfort zone of just doing a little bit here. I need to expand more. Kimberly?
Well, I was thinking when the topic got sent to me, I was thinking about, we said leap, right? But sometimes that leap is like you changing on a like internal level, not just as far as like expanding your business or whatever, but sometimes you have to take that leap to look at yourself to say, okay, I need this, I need to change this about me so I can go to this next level. So definitely when I got the topic, and what was put in my spirit was definitely about not only the big leaps that you have to take, but also those small silent ones that you have to take within yourself and sometimes in your own space.
I agree. Self inspection is always what's first because sometimes the hindrance that we have is us, and it's something that we are either doing or not doing that's hindering us from that bigger growth that we want. And so I know for me sometimes it's fear from taking that step, fear from making that phone call or sending that email or scheduling that meeting. That's what I deal with, not all the time but sometimes, enough for it to kind of put a pause on things. All right, Morgan, I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah. um. So yeah, when I was thinking about this, I was really like processing and um going back over like my last 6 weeks in Ghana and how uh something that not that the trip was trivial at all, but something that, I no big deal. Gonna, go to Ghana for some time to, spend some time with family. Um, allowed me to be in spaces to have certain conversations with people that not only did I have someone probably about 2.5 years ago speak like international business into, uh I guess, just speak that word
Mm-hmm.
into me. Um that now it's like that that trip has now put me in a place where the growth, I this is not anything that I would have thought about. This is not something I would have known how to navigate. It's just been something that, is that's being placed in
Mm-hmm.
front of me. And I think, just like, Abundance was saying, like, when you start doing that work on you, and then you start actually taking just the steps that are necessary. Like, I mean, we all know, like, one foot in front of the other, right? So as we continue to do that, and then, the opportunities open themselves, understand that what may seem little, and maybe even sometimes trivial, are the things that are going to take you to another level. And so what you can't do is, you can't skip
Mm-hmm.
steps.
Right.
One,
Yeah.
we've got, I was like, you can, but you can't also be scared to do the moves. Like, I mean, you can attest, how many times did I go back and forth about, like, me going to Ghana, when I was going, how long I was
Right.
going, like, like, almost down to the last minute. So, and I could have missed that opportunity, but I feel like everything in its timing, because, I think I pushed a little bit more for this, because I had let some time last year slip, and it was just like, you know what, I don't know what kind of time I'm going to have this next
Mm-hmm.
go round, so I might as well, make use of that time. And I also just want to bring attention to, like, being
Mm-hmm.
scared, um when you're making these leaps or these big moves. Like, this, yeah, the growth is scary, but it's like an exciting kind of scary, which means that you actually care. You know what I mean? If you were stoic, we would have some quite, like, you're right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, anybody with a pulse is going, is going to have a little elevation going on, or at least
Mm-hmm.
something. But but um I was talking to a doula recently, and I told her, I said, "Hun, you've got to walk in your authority. There are going to be people who are going to tell you that you're not needed, that there's no, that you don't belong in a space, or that somebody that's already there can do what you
Mm-hmm.
do." I said, but you have to be able to talk to people and tell people right off the bat, first and foremost, who you are as a doula, what it is that you do, that cannot be confused with a nurse, that can't be confused with somebody's mom or aunt or uncle.
Right.
And that doesn't take anything away from any of these people
Mm-hmm.
either. But a doula has a place and serves a specific purpose. And for somebody to say, "Oh, well, I don't think I need a doula because there's going to be nurses there." The nurses work for the hospital. The doula works
Mm-hmm.
for you.
There's a difference.
The nurses got 12 patients. That doula
Right.
got
Mm-hmm.
one. You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, we can go on. There's a lot of things, and there's a lot of great nurses that are very, pro having birth on your terms. But at the end of the day, they are still employed by a hospital that has to go by certain standards and by certain things. And, you get to come to the table and serve your client the way that they want
Mm-hmm.
to. Obviously with respect for the birthing location,
Right.
but again, respectfully, I don't work
Right.
for
Mm-hmm.
you. You know.
So, like, can I say this? So, really, when you
Yeah.
like just listening to you, Morgan, it just like, even though when you're taking this leap, you're also advocating for yourself in a way as well. Because I was thinking about, I don't know if you've seen it on Facebook where I post my flyer for my women's getaway that I'm offering, because my goal is to do big retreats, right, for women one day. So this was just like a little small offering and I was afraid in April, no, you know what I'm saying? Like I was supposed to do it one time, and then, I was like, I don't know. But then I was just sitting in my house one day. I was like, if I keep just saying that I'm going to do it another time and another time, I'm never going to do it. And then I was just like, you know what? Let me go ahead and start putting all these, wheels, the turning, and getting everything in place. And then now where I'm sitting, I'm looking like, oh my God, it's really going to happen. And the feedback that I'm getting from it, because you always have that little doubt in your mind, like, what if nobody signs up? What if nobody wants to do it? You know what I'm saying? What if nobody really cares what I got to say? But just the feedback that I'm getting from it, if I wouldn't have took that leap, I would never be sitting here blown away by what's happening right now with that just small event. So yeah, that leap, that's serious. Very
I'd
serious.
like to,
Yeah,
I'd like
exactly.
to,
And I was like, and that first move is a
Hmm.
big move, which is potentially going to take you to something else. You never know. Your third one might be international. Your third one might, bring you in $1 million. And now you're going to be over here talking about how you were scared and you were like, I'm not really sure. And we were like, girl, if you don't get up off your couch,
Right. Right.
you know.
I'd like to pose a question to those that are watching on whatever platform you're watching on, because we all have had these experiences of needing to take a leap or wanting to take a leap and not doing it. And
Mhm.
what are some of the reasons? Now, we know fear can always be it, but what are some reasons why you have not, and this is for the viewers, those that are on now, what are some of the reasons why you have not taken that leap, especially if it's something that you really feel that you should be doing, and you're excited about it, but taking that first step is difficult? What is it that has hindered you from doing that? So what is it that holds you back? What is it that has, put something in your way that you cannot do that? And why? Like, and how are we going to overcome this? That's the key. Now, acknowledging what it is that we that keeps us from making this big leap, knowing that when we take this leap, that it's going to be bigger and greater than what we expect. And I foresee, Kimberly, because that's what I know you as. I
You
can't.
gonna call me abundance. You gonna call me abundance, April. Get on
Not
that.
you. Okay, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna call you abundance on here, but I'm gonna call you Kimberly everywhere else. All right. So abundance. Just what I foresee for this women's retreat, like you have no idea. When you sent me the different flyer templates, I was driving to Valdosta. So I'm looking, I was on 319 and I'm looking at these while I'm driving. And when I tell you that something in me just leaped, like I literally felt this excitement come over me, like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And so I'm really proud of the fact that you have done this. What I foresee is there being a lot of women like, I want to go, I want to go. And it's going to be on a first come, first serve basis, because you have limited spaces, which is going to prompt you the next time to have to get a bigger venue for it or a bigger place to have more. Peach says she saw the flyer. She want to come too.
Come
I
on.
know. I know. I told her I'm paying my money this week. That way, my spot is solid. Like nobody's gonna come and take my spot. But
I'm mad the algorithm didn't show it to me. So as soon as we
oh,
get off of here, I will
yeah, go
surely
on
look.
her page. Go on my.
Let it be one time when I don't have no babies coming.
Oh,
You look up and
oh
see
my
me.
goodness. Hey, Charla. Charla is down in, I want to say not Sebring, somewhere in Florida. She's like, I want to go. She's got like 4 exclamation points. Oh, y'all better, you better get on my page or Abundance page and start and send her your registration. Like, Hey, see, already. What if you had not taken this leap?
Exactly.
And the bigger growth that's going to come from that. Like, this isn't going to be a one-time thing. You see all these people, it's say Tasha's asking when it is, what, July 18th through the 20th?
Mm-hmm.
July 18th through the 20th, in a place in Florida that I've never heard of. Where is it?
It's Four Corners. It's like the suburb part of Orlando.
Four Corners,
Okay.
somewhere around Orlando area. Yes. Hey, Charlotte from Sebring. I thought I had it right. So somewhere around Orlando, which means driving distance for me. I don't have to buy a plane ticket, which is good. So now back to this, the leap. Now, when we think of leap, leap is not the same as a jump. It could be, but I don't see it that way. And this is just me personally. When you say leap as opposed to jump, I think about just a little something that you do because there's only so far that we can jump. But when you do a leap, when you take a leap, you are going far beyond what you could normally do. That means it's going to cause you to stretch. It's going to stretch you. And one of you said something about something on the inside of us that we have to deal with first so we can take that leap. Because you don't want to take that leap and get to that and come down off the leap and then you're not prepared. You're not ready. You're not equipped for what you need to do, what you took the leap for. So now you've taken the leap and you're looking around like, oh, well, what's next? So then now you're just there. There's no production. So make sure we do the self check first before we take this big leap to make sure that we are mentally, emotionally, and physically ready for this. Now, don't let that be a deterrent from you taking that leap. Don't let that stop you because you're like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not this. Sometimes you just got to take the leap and take it. And you get forced out there to do it. I've been forced out. It ain't fun, but you do it. When I started going into surgery, that very first day out of school and I'm on my job, like I didn't have anybody to fall back on as a crutch. I'm in this operating room by myself, doing everything myself. Like, oh, snap. I guess I better. That was a big leap for me because I had a preceptor for like 9 months who was my crutch, who I could, if I started to fall back, they would be able to take it on. But now it's just you and they're dependent on you. So do it afraid, Tasha said. Hey, AP, how are you? The leap is completely jumping out the window. You're never going to be ready. Plan and do it. It's like people who say that they want to get married, but they want to wait until they get their finances together. Yo, that ain't never going to happen.
Right.
When is that going to happen? Have I ever seen that? No. You just have to do it. It's about planning and do it. Like, look, this is where we are. Plan along the way, but take the leap. I will not be in this same place that I'm in by December 31st, 2025. By December this year, I will not be in the same place. Not that I'm in a bad place, I'm not, but I want more. So if you want more, there's going to require several leaps that you have to take, more moves that you have to make to get the bigger growth that you want to get to the next. Take that leap, then how do you expect to move? How do you expect to grow? You're just going to be stagnant. We know what happens with stagnant stuff. It happens. All right, go ahead, y'all. Y'all just sitting there. Cut me off. Do something.
I know, April, you posed a question to the audience, right, about what are
Yep.
some things for keeping you posted. But I want to answer that too,
Go
because
ahead.
honestly, fear is one of them. But at that, like that self doubt, like that would definitely have you in a chokehold. You hear me? I
Mm,
don't care how many years of experience you have in something. Sometimes that self doubt will put you in a chokehold and make
yeah.
you be like, no, I don't want to do that. I know, like my thing, like self doubt is like was a lot for me, and I guess until I fully like, no matter how many times people told me whatever they told me, it didn't matter until I actually embodied what the people were telling me and what I already knew myself. I can
Yeah.
tell myself 100 billion times because I have a little problem sometimes with affirmations. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. But sometimes, even though you say it every morning that you wake up, every night that you go to bed, if you're not really embodying those things, it's not going to make a difference. You're just saying something, right?
Right.
So, like, self doubt was like really big for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I don't care how much I accomplish and how many times people would tell me like, oh, you got this, you can do this. It was like me study just hammering myself deeper into that little hole,
Mm-hmm.
until one day it was just like, do I believe in myself?
Right.
Like, how is it even possible for others around me to believe in me? And I'm sitting here with all this self doubt. So I kind of
Mm-hmm.
just started questioning myself and working myself out of the self doubt. It wasn't like one day I woke up and, self doubt was gone. No, I recognized that this is what was keeping me bound. And I started working on a plan to unbind myself from this self doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that Jackie said over here on Instagram. She said for her, it's self doubt. So
Mm.
she's right there with you. And I think we all deal with that. I have, like, am I qualified for this? Am I smart enough for this? Am I, would people want to buy into this? Would they want to use my services? Whatever. And I I'm better now than I was 5 years ago, because 5 years ago my whole self-esteem was not where it is now. Now, am I 100%? No, I'm about 95, 96%. But back then it wasn't nothing. So you wouldn't get me do anything. All this that I'm doing, I wouldn't be doing that, because, like, no. So I had to do the work to see myself differently, to know you have what it takes. So every day that I look in the mirror, I'm like, okay, girl, do that. Okay, you got this. And so I have to do that on a regular basis. Why are we doubting who we were created to be? That's the thing. Why are we doubting who we were created to be? We were created to be great. We weren't created to be ordinary. We weren't created to just accept mediocrity. We were created to have great growth, big things happen in our lives, have the best of that. So don't allow what you think about you or what other people have said about you to make you miss out on that. Why? They're just trying to hold you back. So I was watching I like to watch New Birth on Sundays before I go to church. And this past Sunday, or they celebrated the pastor's birthday. And one of the things that took place is one of the teachers had told him, I don't remember what grade he was in, had told him that he might as well give up, that he was not going to succeed. He wasn't going to do anything because he had failed, I think, the 11th grade. And so by him doing that, she said all that to him, it didn't stop him where it could have. And now that pastor is one of the most well-known pastors in the world. And had he not kept pushing and kept going, because he knew that there was something great on the inside of him, then he wouldn't be where he is. And that very teacher, from what I heard Sunday, the very teacher that said that stuff to him was a member of his church when he was in Baltimore. A member. Because now she's like, I said this, I was wrong. Look at what has taken place in his life. So we can't go. We've all had people say something to us that
Right.
wasn't favorable, that wasn't to help push us and to help us take the leap that we need. We don't always have the supporters, but where is the support of you? Where is the encouragement for yourself when you don't have that? Because we don't always get it. We don't.
Right.
Peach said, I love this topic. My idea for H.O.P is a hella leap, but what the hell? God will fill in where I fall short. Absolutely. He just needs us to take the step, y'all. That's the thing. Just take the step, and take the step and allow him to do what he's going to do. You take the step. When you take this leap and you come down from this leap, he already got people positioned, situations positioned for you to walk right into. But if you never take the leap, they're just sitting there like, well, whenever they want to leap, we sitting here waiting on them.
Mhm.
So take that. I know it's encouraging me. It's a gut check for me because I've been sitting on some stuff that I need to do, and so now I don't have any excuse now because Ariel's gonna be gone. I have no distractions. It's just me
Right.
by myself. So, girl, what you going to do? I'm gonna make some moves. I'm going to take the leap. I'm going to do it better and bigger and stronger because I got that. I'm able to do it. So,
Morgan, where, where you at? Where
Yeah,
you at?
I'm here. Listen, I'm trying to look up because I'm trying to chime in on something, but for some reason my computer wants to give me a hard time, and I don't want to lose it on the other screen. Um, but someone can fact check me if they
mhm,
want to. But when you think of a jump, you typically jump
Oh God.
and there's something that you're going to land
mhm,
on. Whereas a leap isn't like just a straight down. As you said, it's an up and
yeah,
out.
that's good.
And most of the time, a leap ends up with soaring. It's not a fall.
Mm,
Whereas a jump is a
yeah,
fall. You know what I mean? So you can jump from things here to here and there. And that's why sometimes it probably does feel like, I'm failing at this, I'm failing at that, or can I at least get a break
right.
kind of thing. But a real leap of faith, and a leap of faith doesn't mean it's not calculated. It doesn't mean that it is not intentional. Doesn't mean that all your I's aren't dotted and your T's crossed. Like, all of that stuff is taken care of, but that leap is, you know what, I don't know what's on the other side of this for me. I don't even know all of the reasons why, but I'm gonna just do this because this is where I'm led to go. This is how, this is what I feel, I'm supposed to be doing right now. This is, the opportunity that has presented itself. And don't be surprised when it takes you to something that's bigger and
Mhm,
greater. We talk about all the time how, when we do things, like a lot of us didn't think that we were going to be where we
right.
are now. Now, how many people really were like, oh, yeah, when I woke up, I was going to be surgical tech. I was going to be a doula. Like, maybe these kids now, but I know that that wasn't what I was thinking. Is not what, I've become, but it's been nice to watch this journey,
Right.
the growth that is coming with these moves. Like, that's the thing that makes me nervous. Like, I really don't have any more time to, like, if I was faking the funk, like, that's
Right.
over.
Right.
I like that.
Because this just got real. Like, you know what I mean? It was like you were out here, you was faking swimming in the pond, and you were over here like, yeah, I'm good. I got this. I got this. Now all of a sudden you done got scooped up and put out in the middle of the ocean. You got all these big fish, and now you over here like, oh shoot.
Right.
What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Am I a minnow out here? You know what I mean? Or am I at least a barracuda where I know I can fend for myself out here a little bit. You know what I mean? Goodness gracious. Yeah, you just I don't know. But you not taking it, I feel like is also so full of
Yeah.
regret. Again, as we have said sometimes that or not sometimes, but your obedience to things and your movement and things are tied to other people.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
So again, don't be that person who's holding up other people's growth and other people's big
Right.
things and big moves because you too scared to
Right.
move.
And
Because the crazy thing is, every single time when you get on the other end of that, you'd be like,
right.
oh, yo, I could have been here so much sooner. Yeah, dummy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I be talking to myself sometimes. Like, really though?
Right.
That's like
yeah.
Morgan's. You 6 months ago, 8 months ago, a whole year
Right.
ago, three. We could have been here 5 years ago if you weren't playing.
Mhm.
And see, and that's where I would have to like beg to differ a little bit because I'm always like, if you would have did it 5 years ago, like, would you have been the doula that you are now, though? Really,
Mm.
because all that experience that got you here, you wouldn't have had it 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a strong believer. Like, you're always right where you're supposed to be, even though you think about it. You say, I should have did this 5 years ago, but really, would it have had the impact that it's having now? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Well, so no, but I did hear in April. I'm not sure if I sent this to you, but I'm not sure if it was a pastor, but I do know it was a gentleman, and he was talking about
Yes.
he was talking about
Mm-hmm.
obedience, and he was like, obedience is not needing a
Mm-hmm.
why, but just hearing "don't touch the
Ooh.
stove" and being all right with I'm just not going to touch it. I don't need to know that it's
Mm-hmm.
hot. It doesn't need to be. I don't need to ask the why and the whole nine. But I trust that the person who was telling me don't touch
Mm-hmm.
this has got my best interest at heart. And so that's really what I mean, because you're right. We could always be sitting here in the what ifs of, I could have, you like you said, what if 3 years ago I would have done this? Not that. But God is over here, done told you something
Mm-hmm.
5 years ago, and you still sitting here now. And you was sitting here biting nails, whole 9 yards. I don't know what's going to happen. Then you get over here and you're like, oh, I did all of that
Right.
for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where you want to start beating yourself up and be like,
Right.
no. Like you really just sat on all of that. And for what?
Right.
Yeah, now you got another kind of story to tell. But imagine where you could have been. Imagine where things could have been if you would have chosen to do it at the time
Right.
that it was given, because you never know that time when the word was given and the instruction was given, there were other doors that were supposed to open up at that
Mm.
time. Now that you're not doing it, those doors might not be open anymore. There may be other doors, but those ones, if you would have been obedient at that time, that were open for you, those, so you're missing
And to
out.
hear that is so heartbreaking because things that we have
Yeah.
wanted to do or been told to do, instructed to do that we didn't. We have those specific doors that were open that we can't have open anymore. However, I do know the word said that God is a redeemer of the time. So he will redeem that. You're not going to have those same doors. You'll have some different doors, but I'm glad that I don't know what those doors are because I would have been beating myself up the whole time. I should have done that. That door right there was going to be it. But hey, you just have to pick up and move at that time. But one thing that Peach said, sometimes the leap is on God's time. It is. It's
Right.
his time. Listen, I'm not supposed to be where I am. I'm supposed to be some pediatrician living in Virginia with just started having kids and Alexis and may or may not be married because that wasn't even on my list.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to college for that, but ended up going a different route.
Right.
So our path that we're taking, although it may be different than what we planned it to be, is
Mm-hmm.
right on time for the ones that we need to be in place for. We don't do all of this. There's no wasted experiences. So even though we wanted, we should have done it this way, but we didn't. There's a reason why. On top of maybe fear or self doubt or whatever else that came up, but maybe they came up for a reason. Nothing comes up unless God allows it to come up. If there's an obstacle, there's a reason why. One or two things that I can think of. Either he's trying to get you in a different place so you can overcome the obstacle, or he's saying, no, not that way. I need you to go this way.
Right.
But I don't want to regret. I don't want to live with regrets. One thing that I've heard someone say of multiple people is that when we leave this earth, we want to leave empty. Like we want to leave, have doing everything and poured out and been effective to as many people and communities as we're supposed to. Don't take all of that. And what is that going to require? Us taking some leaps, us making some big moves so we can empty out. So when we go, not only are they going to say, oh, she lived a great life, they're also going to say she left a legacy. She implemented so much. Now people are carrying it on. That's the whole thing. But if we don't ever take the leap, all those people, you
Right.
selfish something, all those people that are
Right.
missing out on what you have because you are allowing self-doubt, fear, and other people, other things to stop you. Are you serious? No, you need to come through like a bulldozer. If y'all don't get out the way, I'm gonna move you out the way because we all have an assignment. We all do, even with Hop. And when Peach put that up there about the leap is, well, what she said about Hop, I just saw a vision, Hop being in multiple states, not just in Delaware. I see plants in multiple states and doing all of the things that she's doing now in Delaware in other places. But it's going to require the leap. It's going to require the branching out. It's going to require, and then sometimes, y'all, and I'm guilty, sometimes we got to shed off some other stuff that's wasting our time.
Right.
Can't take that leap. We got some time wasters. And
Right.
since these past, I want to say 2 weeks, week and a half, no, yeah, 2 weeks, I made some changes in my life and it has freed up some more time. So, like, I don't have no more excuses. Like, I don't have my attention on this over here anymore because that's just not where, no. So now I have more time to focus on, all right, what I need to do, which leap I need to take now, what move do I need to do? Get yourself together. Let's go. Let's go. So if you say you're going to be in a different place by December 31st, what you doing to get to a different place?
Right.
There have to be some actions that go with it, or it's not going to happen.
I definitely agree. And if I can, I just want to say this because I don't know if y'all aware of this watching the live tonight, but I lost my son, my 16-year-old son, in 2016. And it was a moment that I remember standing in the hospital room with him. It's a question that I kind of, you know what I'm saying, was like talking to myself, but at the same time talking to God. And I was like, okay, God, I was like, look, I was like, this is going to go one or two ways. Like, I'm either finna run towards you or I am finna lose faith. Like, I am just going to be like, no, I'm just going to turn my back away from you. And I remember having that conversation with God in the hospital when my son was in there. And I just remember, like, I'm going to run towards God. Like, I am running towards him full force because I know, I just felt like if I chose the other one, like, where would I be? And then I remembered the promises that he gave us in his word. So I was like, what do I have to lose? Like, these are the promises that he gave us. So I'm about to take this leap. And I did. And I am sitting here with you ladies today to say, every promise when he say, like, he will wipe every tear, be there for you, you know what I'm saying? Like, will not put more on you than you can bear, and all of that. Like, God has stood strong in that for me. So I'm glad that I took that leap to have that faith that God was going to hold true to the promises that he gave us in his word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I can attest to what she's saying because when all this took place last year and she Abundance and I had just gotten connected back in June of last year, and then for all of this to go down, like I did not, honestly, I did not know how this is how you would be. I really thought that you were going to be set back, and I was so angry that this happened, and I'm like, this is going to set her back. God, why did you let this happen? What is going on? But to see you now, and this just happened in October of last year, but to see you now and you've just been not jumping, you've been leaping and leaping and leaping continuously. If anybody is a testimony to taking the leap, you would be, because of the stuff that you've been through. And even with Morgan, with the things that you have experienced and are experiencing, for you to take the leap and take you and your babies to another continent, like, really? For the time that you were there to experience, for the exposure, for what's getting ready to come. So you've already opened up the floodgates just by making that one move, which was going. You didn't know what was going to come of it, how long you were going to be there, what was going to happen while you were there, when you were coming back. You just took the leap. And what did the leap do? It got you connected with people who want to take you here, there, and everywhere to do all of this. And I'm gonna be right there on your coattail, right there with my passport in my hand. So
I
that
love
leap
it.
was
I love
major.
it.
The leaps that abundance is taking major. Yeah, I'm sure you couldn't see yourself a few years ago doing a women's retreat. Like what? And here you are because you
Right.
took the leap to open up the floodgates. I always like to use this, I guess you call it an analogy of your faucet in the sink. When it gets clogged, when that washer gets clogged in there, the water, the stream of water is very small. As soon as you take that washer out or you change it, now the stream is full. So the you taking the leap that you took, abundance, you taking the leap and flying to Ghana, Morgan, that was the washer coming out. So now here we are with the flow. And you just don't stop. Keep leaping because you can't stay in this place long. Y'all, I'm trying not to go this direction. I'm really not. I just want to I hate when this happens. I'm trying to stay right here and I end up. But don't stop because you're just not leaping here and staying here. You're going to keep leaping because your time in this one place that you landed, like you talked about, Morgan, it is small. You're going to be quick and do what you need to do, and you got to leap again because you got to put your mark everywhere. You got to do things everywhere, and it's going to require continual leaps. I didn't know. And I think about me moving these past 20 years, every year or two, I'm moving somewhere else. And people are like, dang, where all have you lived? It's not that, it's where haven't I lived yet? And I'm not trying to move nowhere else, no
Right.
time soon. But when I think about the places that I've been, it's to leave a mark. My leap was 1 or 2 years. You get out of here. Like, I don't want to leave, but it's time to go. And then places that I tried to stay got the rug pulled from up under me. And guess what? I had to take that leap. But I've left a mark because all those places I've been, people still contact me from those places. Like always. Like, oh my God, how are you? It's been like years. But you got to take that leap for bigger and better. I wouldn't be where I am had I not.
Right.
You wouldn't be where you are. I'm just, you can't see what I see, Morgan. You can't see what I see, and I can't explain it from where my eyes see. But I'm just watching. I got my popcorn, like, oh my God, this is so good. Because when you call me and tell me all the other stuff that's gonna happen, I won't be surprised. I'm gonna be like, when am I supposed to be at the airport? That's all I want to know. When am I supposed to be?
Morgan, invite me on the trip. Don't forget me.
I got you. Listen, I'm a team player. I'm gonna put something together. Everybody gotta put in.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to sneak nobody in the seat in the suitcase. It's just the
Oh
crew.
my goodness. The gentleman has arrived. I'm so happy to see you, but mad at you at the same time. We're going to duke it out after the show. I can't hear you.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies. I know
Look,
you are. I
you
know you're
know,
mad.
you know.
No, listen, I had a lot going on. As y'all ladies can see, I have my Haiti hat on. It was Haitian Flag Day yesterday. So it was a lot going on yesterday and today. But I said I have to at least come on, even if it is for a few minutes, a couple
I
of
appreciate
minutes. I have to show face.
I
So
appreciate that.
I apologize. I apologize. I told you I got a crazy schedule.
Yes,
You know
you
what I'm saying?
do. I
So
thought my schedule was crazy, but it's nothing compared to you. Nothing.
listen, man, and not to toot my own horn, but I have to. I'm a single father of two young children.
Oh,
My 8-year-old son and my 7-year-old daughter. I'm very proud to put that out there because we don't get talked about enough.
that
I
is
think
true.
that should be a topic that should be talked about, not the deadbeats or the men who is not active in their children's lives, but the men
Right.
who actually are. you know.
Right.
So I will pat myself on the back,
Well, we
one time.
salute you, sir. You are one of the
Thank you.
few. There are some, they're like you said, they're not talked about, they're not celebrated nor recognized, but there are a lot of single fathers out there doing it, like literally doing it and doing a great job at it.
Correct. I like what y'all was talking about, and that's why I wanted to make myself accessible because it is a great topic. I just heard you talking about Morgan, the things that she did, things that you did. I don't know the young woman
Abundant.
down. Yes, Abundance. I don't know her. I didn't get to hear her story. But I will say this to add to what the topic is, and the show's already going on. I noticed that the minute that I separated myself from, childhood friends or people I grew up with, and I got around like-minded people that actually care about my well-being, that inspire me and motivate me. Blessings have came into my life, you know,
Mm,
and things like that. So I
yeah.
will say that, it's definitely in networking as well too. Networking with like-minded people or just people in general can bring you to the next level or open up doors, you know what I'm saying, that are endless, and limitless too. So I will say that, you
Right.
know.
That is very key, being able to separate from those. And I have vowed this year, and I have stood true to it. People
Mhm.
that are negative, talking about they don't have this and they don't have that, when there's opportunity for them
Correct.
to have what they need and what they want, if they would take that leap, like, yeah, I don't want to hear that. I
Right.
don't, because you have the opportunity to take a leap to have what you want and have what you need. And you won't be saying, oh, I don't have this and I'm struggling here. Like, why? There's so many resources, so many opportunities, so many business opportunities out here for you to get plugged into to change your financial situation. There's so many groups and organizations
Yes.
for you to get connected to change whatever else you need, but you won't take the leap to do that. So you're still going to stay small minded in that area. Like, I can't be around that. You're not progressive thinking. You're not.
Correct. Correct. I learned too, someone who is lazy and someone there's a difference between a non-motivated person and someone who's lazy.
Mm,
A non-motivated person could be motivated or can, you know what I'm saying, they just got to be around the right people. Maybe, like how you said, you get around the right people, they can help you by giving you tips, helping give you tools and stuff like that. But another thing I would say too, and we talked about it on the live that you did, the minute that you put those type of thoughts into your mind, or or your thinking processes like that, then basically you will stay stagnant and
yeah.
not make any moves. But if you put in your mind, because everything starts with a thought, and it also starts with the mindset too. So a lot of people have to change their mindset.
Right.
And we talked about speaking things into existence. So if I
Mhm.
sit here and say, "Oh, I'm no good, I'm no good," then that's what it's going to be. That's what the energy, the frequency is going to be. But if I say, "Well, let me write myself." I always tell this Jim Carrey story. Y'all all know who Jim Carrey is, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So before he got his big break on In Living Color and all this other stuff, he's actually Canadian. So he wrote himself $1 million check and he put it on his refrigerator, and that was what his motivation and what inspired him, you know what I'm saying, to become who he became. He looked at that as a reminder, that check, and said, one day I'll be able to cash a check like that or receive a check like that. So
Mhm.
everything starts with the mindset, you know what I mean, you got to
Yeah.
think positive, then positive things happen. So
That's right. Those seeds are important that are being planted, whether we plant them ourselves or we allow other people or situations to do it. Everything is a learning experience. Every situation you're supposed to pull something out of, and don't focus on the negative part of it or the not so favorable part, but don't let that stuff sit and fester. Like everything that people say to other folks that's not pushing them and supporting them, if they just allow that just to sit in their mind, they're going to think, I'm not going to be anything, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yeah, you really can. You can, if you just get that out of your head, whatever you have to do. I love guided meditation. I love that. because it gets me into a place of calm, especially when I'm so triggered, or I'm just anxious. I need something to give me calm, because if you are anxious, you cannot think clearly. So then you can't see the opportunities that's right in front of you, because you like all over the place. So you can't leap into anything. You can't make any moves. Your moves are going to be tainted. And whatever you make it a move for, it's not going to grow. It's going to wither and die. So we have to make sure that our minds are clear. And that's an excellent point. Our minds are clear, and we are always focusing. Like for me, not everybody can have visuals. Everybody don't function well with visuals. Some, they need to hear it. So do a recording. Record yourself. When I was out of town a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting on the balcony in a hotel, and I did a video, not to post on social media. I did the video for myself, so I could go back and listen to the stuff that I said to myself while sitting there in a place where I gained so much peace and calm, and let stuff go and break off me while I was there. This was just 3 weeks ago. So now I'm going to go back and watch this again and see how, and listen to the stuff. So that gets planted and put into me, opposite of what the other stuff is trying to do. So
I also like what he said when he was talking about, aligning yourself with the people. Like, I think about me and your situation, April, as like when I told you, I was like, it was placed in me to ask you to be my mentor, right?
mm-hmm.
And I was real hesitant. But then I was like, I'm going to ask her. All she can do is say no. You know what I'm saying? But I also think about that on the lines of, sometimes I wonder, like, if I wouldn't have, like, had you as a mentor, because you poured into me a lot and you pulled things out of me that was there, but I just wasn't using them, and I wasn't confident in them. But like what I went through with the loss of my child, sometimes I think, like, would it have went different if I wouldn't have started that mentorship with you in June?
Yeah, you reached out to me, and I was like, what? She want to do what? But then that self-doubt started coming in, like, do I really have what it takes to mentor someone? But to see where you are now and where you were then, I'm like, oh wow, we underestimate ourselves so much. Why do we do that?
We get in our own way sometimes. We get in our own way. Correct.
Yep.
Correct. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a coincidence that abundance came to you or y'all got connected. We was taught and programmed to think that these things are coincidence. No, it was meant to happen like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you happen to be the right person.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
All things happen for a reason.
I enjoyed it.
We can't hear you. We hear a lot of feedback.
Huh?
Let me see
We
if
hear
it's my
some
mic.
feedback on yours.
Well, I enjoyed it, you guys, but I got to finish my dinner. I had fun. It was great, a great topic. I will see y'all next Monday. Lord's willing.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
So Peeaach
Bye.
said she used to keep a photo of a $200,000 house in her wallet and ended up with a $450,000 house. Manifestation is real. 5 years. Oh my. So that would be that exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think. That's what that is. He will go above and beyond what you think. And that's good. I have made the vision. I do it on canvas. I don't Canva. I don't do it like physical anymore. But those things that you put on there, that's real. That's stuff that you constantly visualize. A friend of mine, she printed hers out and framed it and has it up in her office where she can look at it all the time. So sometimes for us to make these big leaps, we got to change what we're looking at and change what we're listening to and who we're listening to. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you're listening to stuff on TV, on radio, whatever, that's not pushing and promoting you, then you need to change that. You listening to people that's not, change that. Change your circle. Fall back a little bit. I'm not saying totally disconnect from folks, especially if you grew up with them. You know, you can fall back enough to where, hey, how you doing? All is well, and boom, I'm moving on. Not I'm gonna
Right.
sit here and talk to you for 2 hours and just allow you to put all of that in me. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I can't.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. There's a lot of energy vampires too. You know what I mean? Especially if the person is a low vibrational person, they can drain you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So you could be in a good mood and then you come in contact with someone and have a quick energy exchange by
Right.
touch. The next thing you know, you're like, why am I mad? Why am I upset? I was just happy. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I pay attention to things like that, you know? I
Yeah.
definitely um I'll just add too, what you did, I haven't done that, the audio recording to
Mm-hmm.
play back to myself, but I do mirror affirmations
Mm,
every top of the mornings that I wake up. Yeah, I look at myself in the mirror, and when I say look at myself, I really like I'm staring in the windows of my soul and saying certain things. Like I can have a bad moment, but not have a bad day. You know,
mm,
being grateful and thankful to wake up to a new day. You know what I'm saying? And why would I be anybody else but me? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like I always say, great to be alive, great to be free. Why would I wake up to be somebody else other than me? So just
Yeah.
certain things like that can bring, bring your spirit up, bring your energy up. And, I'm big on vibrations, frequency, and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I can't wait till it really gets warm out here in Boston to where I could go out in the woods and start hugging trees because when I saw that as young, I was like, yo, what kind of drugs are they on? But now that
They
yeah,
always
now
say
that I
that.
understand and overstand the meaning of why these people hug trees, I've been doing grounding. I'm
Mhm.
enlightening my children into
Oh,
walking
I
on the
love that.
grass and grounded. All of that
Hmm.
stuff is all things that, when I was young, dumb, and full of, what, I would have been like, oh, that's crazy. Who does that? Look at somebody walking around with, on some public grass, like, oh, why they not, why they don't have no sneakers on? Why they don't, but now I know all of that. If you go
Yeah.
to the islands, they're not wearing anything on their feet,
Mhm.
in the islands. So I seen that, but I didn't know the meaning behind that. Now I do. So there's a lot of things I just implement. And if people change, again, starting with their mindset and start doing certain things, they'll see blessings come. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like
Right.
that. So, but that's one thing I do notice. Networking with the right people is a positive, and it's been a plus for me,
Right.
so
That frequency and vibration, that's a
mhm,
real serious thing. I
that
had, because of how some of us were raised, we, that stuff was taboo. It was thought of as witchcraft, and it's not, all of that stuff. But when I went through, I went to a retreat and we really delved into it for
mhm,
us to find out more about that. It explained and made me even more sense to me, if that
mhm,
makes sense. I understood why I would do some of the things that I do. It's because of the frequency. So
mhm,
even now, when I go to church, there's a certain frequency in the music that I need to hear. Otherwise, it's like fingernails down the chalkboard. Like I can't stand it. And even
mm,
with people talking, like the way their voice are, I tune out because it does something to me. And
mhm,
I love music. I love music. And so I would wonder why certain songs, I would play these songs on repeat. Like
mhm,
one song I remember just a few months ago, I played this song on repeat for 8 straight hours and
mhm,
nothing changed. It had me in the state that I needed to be in for 8 hours. Now, before I would be embarrassed if people in the car with me and I'm playing the same song over and over again. It's like, what is wrong with you? Why you got that on repeat? But now it's like, I don't care. This is my
yeah,
car, this is my music, and I need this on repeat. Otherwise, this is going to be a problem.
yeah,
So that frequency, even at night, if I'm not
mhm,
listening to guided meditation before I go to, I'm listening to something with a high frequency on there. And when I
mhm,
tell you that's some good sleep right there, I
mhm,
wake up like, whoa, this is amazing. But I had
sure,
to understand it, to
mhm,
know what I need for me. And then that'll help tying it back into the topic. That will help you make the leaps that you need to for these moves in your life because your frequency level is where it needs to be.
Correct.
Always. Now, I've never
Correct.
seen anybody hug a tree. I probably would have thought they were crazy, but now that I know better, I might have
Uh-huh.
to go hug a tree to myself. Hey, tree, how you doing?
Remember, everything is life. Plants. That's why people talk to plants. I thought that was weird when I saw my mom's and my grandmother doing that. But now I understand everything is frequency. It's like you speaking life to that plant. You know what I'm saying? Or crops that you might be growing. Everything has a life form. Everything is frequency. You
Yeah,
know, so when you understand certain things, you look at it different. You know, but
right.
again, it's all the mentality and the mindset that you have. So, you
Yeah.
know.
That communication is important. I saw a case study done, it's from years and years ago,
Mhm.
of babies, and they had certain babies that they gave them a lot of attention and conversation and all of that stuff. And then they had the babies
Mhm.
that they left by themselves, and then how they developed and what happened with them for that. So that interaction, that vibration, that frequency, that communicate, all of that stuff matters because those babies that had all of the attention, that they thrived, and then you had these other babies who were left alone and didn't have all of that, were sickly, and there was no life to them, and some of them didn't survive. Like they
Mhm.
literally did not survive. And that's important for us to do what we need to or what we desire to in our lives. We have to have the right frequency and vibration around us. So,
Correct. Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Morgan,
Right, right. Be intentional with it. Be intentional
absolutely.
with
Well,
it.
you have anything final that you want to say? We have gone through our time. Pete says, start by going outside in the
Yeah.
grass without shoes. Now, that's going to take a lot for me because I ain't that person. So that's y'all gonna have to, it's gonna have to be a process. Graduate to hugging a tree. Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was me and the kids we
Oh my
stay
God, I
barefoot all the
cannot.
time.
I'm a
Um,
little too prissy for
yeah.
that. So me going outside like that is, oh yeah.
That was my oldest son. So he was walking around everywhere when in Ghana with like socks on. And I was like, "Have you seen anybody with socks on? Like, dude, you have socks and sandals on at that. Like, take them
That's
off."
called tapping into the
But
land.
you're yeah, exactly. I was like, this is the motherland. Like, this is the land you really want your
Yeah.
feet to touch.
Oh
Like, come on,
yeah, yeah,
let's
absolutely.
do it.
Well,
You know.
I will work
But
on
yeah,
that. I really will. Maybe I'll have to do it. I mean, I can like go in my garage or maybe in my driveway, but on the grass itself, yeah, I'm gonna have to graduate to
You
that.
in the South. You in the perfect area. Y'all got turf grass. Y'all
yeah.
got
I
carpet
mean,
grass. I mean,
as long as nobody is spraying anything
there
on
you
your
go.
grass, you should be
Correct.
fine.
I'm
Correct.
gonna pass on that. I'll go. I'll find a place to go. Now I will. This is what gets me. I'll go walk on the beach. I'll walk on the beach, no problem. But you get me in grass. No, not in the grass.
No, that I was like, that's
Yeah,
good
correct.
too.
It
But
is. It
no.
is too, but yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was like, there's a lot that that the sand and the water will do that that grass doesn't do, just the same as the stuff that grass will do that sand and stuff isn't gonna do. But yeah, you can go hug a tree. You got a tree in your backyard, ain't nobody gonna look. Don't judge, and just go do it.
Tasha
Just go do
said,
it. That's one of the first things. Listen, I encourage my kids to go hug a tree all the time. I was like, listen, you can either hug me
Yeah.
or a tree. Those are
There
your
you
two
go.
options. But you need to go hug something right
mm,
That
now.
works too. Like bringing the
So
your children like close to your heart. They said that does something too.
yeah,
You know.
hmm
So
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah, you're not
absolutely.
gonna feel weird.
I'm glad you came on. Thank you very much for
I had to
joining
because
us.
if I didn't.
I was like, we'll have to have you for a whole
If I didn't,
episode
I know
though.
I would have got a nasty a DM on
And
IG.
you know
I
I
would
was
have.
Uh,
sitting there like, bro,
I'm
what is going
done.
on with you? Well, I'm not to not be your friend anymore. We're done. We're done.
Nah, but like Peach knows, like if I'm accessible, I'm definitely, I'm gonna tap in. But I had just came in the house and I said, "Oh my goodness, they're about to end the show. If I don't show my face and hit this link real quick, April is about to give it to me. So I said, I gotta come on. So,
Yeah.
I already had told you, it's kind of like, I don't know what my day is gonna be sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
I
had,
appreciate you coming
so
on and giving us
yeah.
some of your time. It was good to see you.
Appreciate
Yes.
that. Likewise, I had to, you know what I mean?
All right.
Definitely had to. Auntie Peach, saying that those are my peoples, her and Smack, you know what I'm saying? Love them, couldn't
They
meet
are
no better
amazing.
people. Yeah, correct, correct. I talked to them behind the scenes, sent messages and told them like giving y'all the opportunity. The first day I told you, I went in Peach's DM, I said, yo, April is like a natural. And then I was like, Morgan's just a laugher. She's just happy. I'm like, I don't know if it's the Libra in me, but I'd be looking at people like that and be like, why can't I be like, that happy? You know what I'm saying? That first day, Morgan could not stop laughing. I was like, yo, she's just like, I guess that's part of her personality. That's, again, I could pick up people's energy through
Yeah.
devices, whatever it is. I don't got to be next to you. And I was like, yo, she
Mhm.
seems very happy. I'm like, that's good. That's how we all
Yes,
should be. She just
absolutely.
kept laughing nonstop, and you was just a natural. I'm like, did she ever work for NBC or ABC or CBS or one of these channels?
No, but you can put it
Yes.
out there in the
I.
atmosphere. I'll
There we
take
go. Let's make
There you go.
manifestation for real.
right. Well, I'll
You
do it.
know,
I'll be on TV for real.
you know. But yeah, you guys, you ladies is keep doing what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, somebody might be calling, hey, we want y'all to sign a deal. What y'all want to do? That's how Gillian Wallow started. They just started doing their podcasts like this. Drink Champs. I don't know if y'all watch some of these podcasts, but it was something that wasn't supposed to go well. In their mind, they didn't think it was going to take off. But
Mhm.
next thing you know, sponsors and they got big podcasts now. So,
Oh
we
wow.
all got to start crawling before we
Awesome.
start, walking and running. So,
That is true.
you got to get it from the mud, like they like to say. The rappers like
Right.
to say, get
Right.
it from the
Right.
mud. So,
Right.
but I
Absolutely.
appreciate you, ladies, for having me on.
Thank
Peach, I know she's in the back watching. Appreciate her as well. And like I said, I definitely had to tap in. Same thing as last time. More, April. Please just send me the topic, so that way, if I don't know what the topic is about, I could do my research and
you.
don't
Okay.
come on here like a fool. You know exactly what I'm
I
talking
don't
about.
think that would ever happen. I think you would be prepared. Even if I threw something at you, I think you would be
Yeah.
prepared.
Well, I'm well diverse, I experienced a lot in my time. Been around people that's experienced a lot of things. I was fortunate by my parents, travel the world when I was young. So I seen a lot, you know what I mean? And it's good to experience a lot. This is what life is about anyways, you
Right.
know, and stuff like that is about, it's a journey, it's about experiences and sharing your story with strangers or the world or people you connect with. And then you'll see that, wow, this person's from over there and we share a lot in common,
Mhm.
and then you got somebody you might grow up with and you don't really get along with them.
Right.
That's how things is, But appreciate y'all ladies.
Thank
Enjoy the rest of y'all night, you know.
you
You
too.
You
too.
guys stay blessed and be safe. Wherever y'all live at, we got it's crazy. A lot of crazy things is happening. I saw some things happen, last night and today. So, we just
Mm,
gotta be vigilant. I like saying be vigilant and stay militant because that's what, seeing what's going on, you know what I mean, around us is what keeps us still, living and alive. So, it's
right.
a crazy
Absolutely.
world, and I pray and hope it gets better, but I can't control that, you
Yeah.
know.
We can only do our part and then
Correct.
we have to see what else is gonna happen. So yeah, absolutely. Y'all definitely be safe out there. It's a lot. It is a lot going on in the world. A lot.
Correct.
More than it
Correct.
was years ago. So, but we're so happy we're able to make it on, even if it was for a little bit. I'm glad to see
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Likewise, again, y'all ladies be safe and enjoy the rest of y'all night.
you
And I'm
too.
about to sign off and feed these little ones real fast and get them ready for tomorrow. So I
Okay.
appreciate y'all again. I appreciate,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
they standing at the
All
door
right. We
like,
appreciate you.
I'm like, give me a few minutes. So I
Right.
appreciate
All right. We'll see you next
Exactly. It was
time.
that
it.
Bye.
Have a good
time.
night.
All right. Have a
Y'all
good
too.
one.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. We have come to the end of another I believe, phenomenal show, and was filled with a lot of encouragement, information, support. That's what we do here in the Boss Ladies Lounge. That's the whole purpose of House of Peach, Boss Ladies Lounge, is to support, encourage, uplift, give y'all some nuggets, give you a push, a kick, a jolt, whatever it is that you need,
Stretch.
right? And to stretch you to think outside the box and then take your lives a lot further than they are. I know it has definitely helped me on this evening. So we're going to sign off here, but do not forget we'll be back again. Is next Monday the last Monday? Is it? Oh,
Yes. And we have an announcement too
yes.
next
So
week
next
too.
Monday is our He Said, She Said segment. So, for all you gentlemen that have been on here, we're going to have a topic that will be for that we want the male and female perspective. So, we don't want to give it all. We don't want to talk for y'all. We're not men. We don't want to talk for you. We want you to come on and give your perspective. And we're going to make an announcement. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I almost want to say it today, but we're going to make an announcement next Monday. Actually, Morgan's going to make the announcement. I'm just going to sit here and try to contain my excitement while she does it, for something that we're doing in June, for June's He Said, She Said segment that's going to absolutely blow your socks off. Literally, it's going to be good.
I'm
I know
excited.
that was an amazing idea. I cannot wait. So y'all join us next Monday at the same time on all these same platforms that we are on everywhere. Like, tag, and share. If you have not subscribed to the House of Peach, there is the QR code up there in the corner of your screen. Go ahead on and subscribe so you know what's going on when we start having events, or well, there's events going on with House of Peach, but as we branch out even more, you never know. We may be coming to a city near you. I'm gonna put that out there. You heard
Yeah.
that, Peach?
Look, because we
Yeah,
travel,
we
okay?
are travelers. Like, we will not. We'll go just about anywhere. I don't think there's anywhere that we won't go. So, but yes, so join us next
Yeah.
week. We would love to have you on. Be here with us to put your comments in, all of that. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have too. All right. So until next week, y'all have an amazing rest of your week and weekend. And we'll see you on Monday. See y'all.
Okay.